everyone, I'm Louise. I'm a 19-year-old history student and I was kindly asked by the student room to come onto this channel to basically pass on some advice. I finished my A-levels this year and I'm currently on my gap year. I did 3 A-levels. I did history, English literature and classics, as well as the EPQ. And I was lucky enough to get A, B, C and C in that order. I was lucky enough to get a place at university to start this year. Lucky enough at KCL. But I didn't feel that the course that I had applied for there was for me. So I took the decision to take a year out and reapply. As of the 9th of October, I have sent off my application with my 4 choices. Those 4 choices were Birmingham, Leicester, Oxford Brookes and Chichester. And I haven't heard back from any of them yet, but I'm hoping so. I will soon. Concerning my gap year, I'm not actually going to go travelling as most people would. During my time at 6th form, I was lucky enough to go to both Athens and the Bay of Naples, which is where Vesuvius and Pompeii are. So I'm kind of travelled out. I'd like just a quiet year in the UK, just focusing on getting ready for uni, expanding my horizons, as people would say. But I do have stuff planned. The only 2 things I have planned are to go see Hamilton in May 2018, which I'm super excited about, and to go see Paramore in January. Out of all the periods of history that I was lucky enough to study, both at GCSE and A-level, I would have to say my favourite at GCSE was the First World War, and I was lucky enough to go to some of the battlefields while I was studying it. And at A-level, the Crusades. If you can tell from the posters behind me, I'm a little bit of an Assassin's Creed fan, so that really helps with the revision. I got an A on that paper, so it definitely worked. But the period I would love to study most is probably ancient Egypt. My grandmother was a massive Egyptologist, so I always think I've had like a love for it. But I'd also love to study Victorian London, like the crime, the dirty parts of the era, Jack the Ripper. Concerning English literature, my favourite poet and book that I studied, both were A-level. London by William Blake. My English teacher Karen was a massive fan of Blake, so it really helped. And novel, I wasn't really like 100% on all the novels we studied, so I'd have to say my favourite, or my least hated, would have to be Atonement by Ian McEwan. I love the twist at the end that it gives you in the epilogue. If you've read it, you know what I mean. Random facts about me: I am left-handed. I'm the oldest of 2 siblings. My favourite sport, I'd have to say, is archery. I have an affiliation with Archery GB, so I am licensed to go shoot anywhere around the country at competitions, at normal events. And I would love one day to go to like an international games, like the university games, the Olympics, the World Cups. Maybe, I haven't entered any competitions this year, so maybe that's something I'd like to look into this year before I start uni. But besides sport, I love gaming. The posters are a bit of a giveaway for Assassin's Creed. I also love Tomb Raider, Life is Strange, Undertale, Five Nights at Freddy's. The Telltale games are fantastic, I love them too, and Shadow of Mordor. And it would be here hours of me explaining which games I like, why I like them, and there's just so many. It's just, I love gaming. I'm pretty much a nerd. Some of the films that I love include Lord of the Rings, Thor, Wonder Woman, Sucker Punch, Dead Poets Society. I'm really varied with what films I love, but I love films probably as much as I love gaming. It's just something that's always been there. Thor is my favourite Avenger, I'm just going to say that now. Some of the countries I would love to visit are Canada and New Zealand. New Zealand, because it's Middle Earth, it's where they filmed Lord of the Rings, and I would love to go and visit the Hobbiton set that's still there. It's something I've always wanted to do, almost as much as I've wanted to climb Vesuvius, which I did this year. Canada? I don't know why Canada. There's just something about Canada that has like this really nice atmosphere and really good nature, I suppose. I'd just love to visit them one day. I'd also love to go back to Italy. As I mentioned, I went to the Bay of Naples and I went this year, but we stayed in the Bay of Naples, so Vesuvius, Pompeii, Capri we were lucky enough to go to too. But I would love to visit Rome, Venice, Florence, maybe somewhere further south as well. But there's just so much more of that country that I would love to visit. And finally, I would have to say the most interesting artefact, historical artefact that I've ever seen is original handwritten sketches by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. I was lucky enough to go, when I went to the SS Great Britain about 3 or 4 years ago, to stumble across like a once in a lifetime opening of the private collections there, and they had the sketches and designs for events, items like the Clifton Suspension Bridge, the SS Great Britain itself. But considering how much Isambard Kingdom Brunel has given to the country and to like industry as a whole, that is pretty amazing. And I'm lucky that I went and saw it. Like, how many other people can say they saw something from a private collection that's not really that opened anymore? But yes, this was me. I go by EstelOfTheEyrie on the student room, so if you ever wanted to kind of talk or ask questions that you want me to answer in a video, don't be afraid to kind of message me on there or in the comments below this video. But hopefully I'll be sticking around for a while and you might see a bit more of me.